By fifth grade, a child's vocabulary has grown to about 40,000 words at a rate of 20 words per day. Children are able to think about objects in less literal ways and develop more sophisticated vocabulary that allows them to tell jokes. School age children are also able to learn new grammar rules with more flexibility. The school years may be the best time to be taught a second language. I know for a lot of us, we don't take a second language until we're in high school in our latter years of our secondary education. But I would argue, hey, let's maybe try to introduce a second language earlier in life because it's never impossible to learn a new language, but it's definitely easier to learn a language in childhood comparatively to as being an adult. Let's talk about some educational issues during middle childhood. We all have probably heard of the term dyslexia, dysgraphia, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But let's dive into it a little bit more. Dyslexia is neurobiological in origin and is characterized by difficulties with accurate and or fluent word recognition, as well as poor spelling and decoding abilities, presenting reading difficulties. Dyslexia is one of the most common diagnosed disabilities and appears to be rooted in some neurological problems involving parts of the brain active in recognizing letter, verbally responding, and manipulating sounds. What this may look like for somebody who has dyslexia is the letters in the words may be flipped around, causing difficulty in processing the words that they're reading, or with dysgraphia, it's characterized by difficulty writing words. They're related, but they are a bit different. Now, ADHD, we've all at least heard of in passing, is considered neurobiological and behavioral, resulting in difficulty staying on task, screening out distractions, and inhibiting behavioral outbursts. With ADHD, the DSM-4 had ADD, but that's no longer the case in the DSM-5, our most latest edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. As long as an individual qualifies for either attention deficit and or hyperactivity symptoms, they would qualify for ADHD. Treatment for ADHD commonly includes medications in the form of stimulants. These are forms of amphetamines as well as Ritalin. And that's the common immediate snapshot response to treat some child who has ADHD. But there are other ways, such as structuring the classroom environment, tutoring, as well as the parent's education is taken into account. Research suggests that several brain structures may be implicated in ADHD. And there is significant controversy about medicating children with ADHD because I feel like nowadays you see an uptick in the prescription of ADHD when children really don't need it. There's this over prescription and this over medicated population with children who really don't need to be taking an altering substance in the form of stimulants at such a young age while their brain is still developing. Now, when it comes to all the forms of intelligences, we know, at least I would hope so, that there are multiple forms of intelligences, even intelligences that are not necessarily measured by a form of standardized testing. Gardner suggests that there are 9 domains of intelligence. You've got some of them that can be measured by IQ tests or standardized testing, such as logical, mathematic, linguistic, and spatial skills. Those can be measured, but things like musical, bodily kinesthetic, naturalistic, those children who have a high sense of emotional intelligence or EQ with interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. So, interpersonal being between people and intrapersonal regarding the self. These are not measured by standard IQ tests, but they are important for success in a variety of fields. Now, Sternberg offers this triarchic theory of intelligence where there's 3 domains. You've got your individuals who are academically inclined or your book smart. So this includes the ability to solve problems of logic, verbal comprehension, vocabulary, and spatial abilities. You've got your creative people, which includes the ability to apply newly found skills to novel situations. They don't suffer as much from functional fixedness as some individuals do. Functional fixedness, which is a concept we went through in Introduction to Psychology, is the difficulty in seeing things for being used for anything other than what they were intentionally supposed to be used for. But my creative people, They like to be, of course, creative and seek new solutions to problems, as well as those individuals who have practical skills. For lack of better terms, you can think of this like your street smarts, the ability to use common sense and to know what is called for in a situation. Now let's move toward emotional and social development in middle childhood. During this time, friendships are really crucial, and the peer influence is more so taken into account than the parents. Friendships during middle childhood take on that new importance and provide the opportunity for learning social skills, which include communication and conflict management. And being accepted by other children is an important source of affirmation and self esteem. But peer rejection, alternatively, can potentially foreshadow later behavioral problems. Let's go through these four domains. Popular pro social children have the tendency to do well in school and are cooperative and friendly. Your popular antisocial children, they may gain popularity by acting tough or spreading rumors. Now, withdrawn, rejected children, they may be, and I hate to use this term, but easy targets for bullies because they're unlikely to retaliate. Aggressive, rejected children have the tendency to be ostracized and may act out due to insecurity.